Gino lost his signal there. That I'm just going to go ahead and go live for a little bit, see if anybody joins me. And I didn't go anywhere special, but you can see I'm at the beach at my house. You know, I love this little wall hanging. And I look at it, it makes me feel like I'm at the beach. And it could be any beach you want it to be, I guess. You know, it kind of reminds me of the beaches at Thailand. I haven't been to Boracay yet. Maybe it looks like Boracay. I don't know. But if I look at the picture, it actually looks like one of the islands off of Thailand. And that's what it really reminds me of. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wait for some people to join here and see how many negative comments I get about this shirt I'm wearing. My lousy American football team. Hey, Foxtrot, there you are, brother. Good morning. I saw you over there. I believe you're over there on Gina. I can't even talk this morning. You know, I just got up a little while ago, and but anyway, it's all good. Hey, check this out. I just had this made. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's silver, and it got my little 20-year pin that I've been carrying around now for, what, 16 years or whatever. I went to a jewelry shop here in Iloilo, and I was talking to the guy, and I had a ring already, and where the stone had fallen out. I said, hey, can you mount this pin in this ring? And we were talking for a little while, and of course, he wanted to make more money, so I was like, he's like, why don't I just make a whole nother ring out of silver for you? I said, well, I kind of want it to be gold colored because the pin's gold. He goes, well, I can dip it and make it yellow. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, why don't you go ahead and do that? And, the price he gave me I guess it was a fair price. I don't know. I need to weigh the silver and see. But I wasn't worried about it. Was not a large amount of money. To some people, they'd say it was, but to me, it wasn't at the time. And, yeah, he did that in about less than a week. His little guy back there in the shop made this thing. It's not perfect. But, it's okay. You can see it's not perfect the way it's mounted. And I asked him about that, could we fill in some of the voids there? And he's like, no, they were worried about messing up the pin. And I'm like, well, okay, I can respect that. So, anyway, I've been carrying that pin around for years. I finally got it put onto a ring. I think it looks pretty cool. For those of you that have jobs or work for different agencies, I don't know what happened to my other pins. My 10-year pin, I think I got a 15-year pin, I don't remember. And I just was shy of getting a 25-year pin, but this is my old 20-year pin. And just a little token to remember that, yeah, I was there. I did the job. I went to prison every day and hung out with some of the undesirables of society and actually some notorious people. I've conversed and had my hands on some pretty notorious, I don't want to say famous, I'll just say notorious people. And some people might be, well, really? I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't anything to me. I went to work. They were just there. They were I didn't, it didn't make me feel special or anything. But as I look back on it, I'm like, wow, some of these people, it's pretty amazing I came in contact with. And some pretty famous, and I met some pretty famous people, Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott. They all came through Philadelphia to visit somebody there, and of course, who there visited, she just thinks she's so special because she was in the federal prison. I'm like, okay, whatever. If that makes you feel special, in your rap community, you go for it, and if you all think about it, that world, you might figure out who I'm talking about. But anyway, good morning to everybody that's here. Go ahead and tap that thumbs up for me. That helps the algorithm and shoot this out across the airways to more people. And maybe we can get a conversation going here. Fox, what have you been doing today already this morning? Anything? You just doing like I'm doing, drinking my coffee? Hey, Gino's turned me on to this Copica Blanca, which, yeah, one cup is about enough. And, but I add some stuff to it, which makes it worse. But it reminds me of exactly what I get at Starbucks, which is a total sugar drink. And, yeah, I'm going to keep it real. Thank you for that. Thanks for the support. Thanks for helping. I appreciate that. And that's all good. Thanks for joining me this morning. And if you come on here to this stream, if you're just scrolling through and if you haven't given me a subscription, give me a subscription. That looks like Hawaii, doesn't it? And that look like Hawaii? That's awesome. That's awesome. But I'm here in my house in Iloilo, but I want to feel like I'm at the beach all the time, and I'm close to the coastline here, but the only time I've really seen the beach is when I was driving over to Gambao through, what's that other one? To Bowen. And I got to see the water there. So when I want to see the water, I'm just going to take a cruise out over that direction. And but yeah, I love this. I picked this up on Lazada, and it just makes me, it just brings back good memories for me. I literally, my last house that I rented in Thailand, I lived on the beach, basically. There was just one small street across from my house and the beach. I walked across the road and I was on the beach and I would go fishing there. And this reminds me of that. I didn't have so many islands and stuff, but there's a couple islands off of that beach where I live. But it just reminds me, that was a peaceful life. Very peaceful life. Ah, where are you at in Florida? That's when I retired. I was living in Florida. I was in Central Florida. And all right, Journeys is here. Good morning, brother. And that's great. Let's see. Keep it real. I live very close to the beach, but if I'm honest, I take it for granted. That's what happens when you live right by the beach. You do start taking it for granted, myself included. And but what would keep me grounded to it, I would go out there in the morning and I would just walk out to the beach, check out the tide, see if it was out or in, and I would just kind of look at things and drink my tea or whatever I drink and go back in. And then in the evening I'd walk back out there again. Sometimes I'd walk up and down the beach, and it's one of the, oh, you're in Vero Beach, okay, I know where that's at. And I lived up in Lake County. But what I did like about where I lived in Florida, I could be to either coast in an hour or an hour and a half. I could be over to Daytona and over there in an hour. I could be over on the Gulf side, hour and a half. It was great. And I used to go fishing down there at St. Pete, and used to go watch the Phillies when they were spring training over there in Clearwater, and went to a game. That was kind of cool. I'd have liked to done that more often, but it was a little bit of a drive for me from where I lived. But I loved going fishing there. But my favorite fishing spot, believe it or not, was down in Naples, Florida. And I was dating, at the time I was single, I was dating a beautiful Italian lady down there. Sweetheart of a lady. It didn't work out, but that was because I lived so far away. I was living in Georgia at the time. But I used to go down there and go fishing. I don't know why I told you all that. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, I would go fishing on the Naples Pier. And man, I had a blast out there. Except when the dolphins would come in. Everybody thinks dolphins are so cute and they're great. But I tell you what, when you're fishing off the Naples Pier, you hate it when those dolphins come in. Because they come and they steal all your bait. They laugh at you. They spool your line out. And oh my goodness. Dolphins are cool, but not when you're fishing. You just want them to go away. So let's see. Hey, Scott, welcome. Good morning. I don't know if you guys were over there on Gina. He was having some technical difficulty. He's busy now, so he's not going to go back live. So I just told her I was going to come on here from my house, my beach house, my house at the beach. I wish. And but anyway, it's all good. Yeah. I'm just going to say I'm going to keep it real because I don't know your actual real name, but like Italians too. My Bible. I could just see your little picture there. You must be Italian. I like Italians too. But that's funny. But what would be even funnier is if you were the lady that I was dating, but you're not. But anyway, yeah. I don't just like Italian. I like Italian food. I love Italian food, and not just Americanized. I like the real Italian food too. I can't eat all of it because some of it I don't like. But by and large, I should have married an Italian years ago. But then again, I'd be bigger than I am. I eat too much pasta already as it is. I kid you not, almost every single guy I've been attracted to happened to be Italian. Hey, each to their own. Everybody's different, and people are beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. And, you know, thank the good Lord that, you know, we're not all attracted to the same type of people. Otherwise, we'd all be chasing the same person, and that probably wouldn't go well. Is it Christia or Christia? Christia. Christia Sophia. That's a beautiful name. And I'm not flirting, I'm just keeping it real. And Scott says, I used to fish in Naples in the canals where, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, where 75 makes a turn to Alligator Alley. I know what you're talking about, Scott. Yep. Yeah, I sure know that. So everybody say hi to Christia Sophia. She's over here from Florida, over on the live from Florida. I think that's great. Everybody subscribe if you haven't. Hey, Gino, good morning, brother. I'm sorry that happened to your stream. Some kind of glitch in the internet, I guess, or whatever in the signal. We were all waiting. We were talking to each other like, he's buffering. And I'm like, well, somebody needs to tell him. But anyway, I hope you have a good rest of the day there, Gino. And it's always great to see you, brother. And I'm going to see you in person soon, Lord willing. I'm looking forward to that. And Christia says, yeah, I like Italian food as well, but it's very heavy. I think more like it makes us very heavy. You know, excuse me, I got to take a sip here. And that's non-alcoholic, by the way. God love you, Ray, but I can't do you, man. All right. Yeah, Chris says, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Well, you know, genuine compliment. I believe in there's so many people in the world that, myself included, we're so down on ourselves sometimes, and we're just, our self-esteem is not where it needs to be if we're being honest. And that's why you have so many people taking their own lives, because they're just not happy with whatever. They're not happy inside, you know. And, you know, the Bible says that we need to learn to be content. And I'm guilty of not being content myself. That's why I'm single, you know. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm not perfect. The Colonel is not perfect. And, but I believe in complimenting people, but giving genuine compliments, not just going up, no, keep it real. If you, like, if I'm walking around and I see a young lady and I think she's beautiful or she's pretty, I don't mind. Hey, you know, you're really pretty. I'm like, don't think any. I'm just saying you're really pretty. And of course, most not, initial reaction, they think you're flirting with them. But no, I just believe in complimenting God's creation. There's nothing wrong with looking at a man or looking at a woman and saying, hey, you're attractive. It is what it is. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Just, it's what you're thinking in the mind is what makes it, right or wrong. If you're thinking thoughts in your mind that you shouldn't be thinking about that individual, then shame, I mean, that's on you. You got to rectify that. Don't let that come out the mouth, Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Michael Lee White is on the channel. Everything's right with the world now. Michael's here. If we need to fix something, let him know. He'll tell you how to do it. That dude's he's a mechanical genius just about. And that's why some of us would call him MacGyver. I think it's hilarious. That guy can fix anything. Did you go fishing this morning, Mike, or last night? You and I got to go live again. I think you kind of kicked me to the curb, brother. But that's okay. That's okay. And thanks for the support on a thumbs up. Appreciate it. I got 4 thumbs up, 6 people in the house. It's all good. Thanks for the heart there, Christian. You seem like a real sweetheart. Yeah. Gino, it started downpour. Oh, that explains it. Yeah, the downpours. It's raining here in Iloilo, actually. That's why, I was joking about yesterday being like the U.S. postal worker going out in the weather. But this morning, the wind was blowing here. It's died down right now, but it actually blew the window cover right above where I'm sleeping. I think that's why I woke up, because it was daylight already. And but yeah, it's raining here again. I just thought, nah, I'm not going out again in the rain. I feel okay. I didn't get a cold or anything yet from being out in the rain yesterday. I know the people that were walking by at the Plaza Libertad. I think they were. I know they were looking at me like, what's that crazy foreigner doing sitting on the park bench in the rain? But I just smiled at him and said good morning. I think it's funny. But, yeah, Daniel. Jacksonville, Florida. Been there many times. Been through there many times. Flown out of there. Yeah, that's actually a nice. When you're driving through Jacksonville, I don't know what that one road is. That seven? No, it's not 75. 95. I don't know what that road is, but where it goes over the water and you look off to the left and you can see the skitty. I gave you a dog. The city sky. I'm putting city and skyline together. The skitty skyline, the skitty skyline. And then I've been down in the parts of Jacksonville that wasn't so beautiful, but taking a friend to take care of some business he had to do. But it's great, and excuse me, Sergeant USA, you just saying hello to everybody in the Panay posse, waiting for him to come over here, and I got to meet him, and we're gonna have a good time together. And Gino's saying hello to Daniel and Michael. Mike, yep. You got to tell her, Mike. Christy is she's thriving Philippine. Wow, for what? Michael does a myriad of things, Christy. He lives right on the beach on the island of Masbate here in the Philippines, and his wife's family, and Mike, he's got 3 children with his wife here in the Philippines, and he married into a fishing family, and they have, I believe, 3 fishing boats, or 3 boats. I don't know if they use all 3 for fishing. I think they do, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if he uses charm boat for fishing or not. You have to tell us, Mike. But anyway, they do fishing, and they do it, 1 for food, and 2 they do it commercially to sell. And they fight for the fish with the people that are doing illegal fishing over there. It's very sad for the people like them that are doing it for their livelihood. When you have people come in and doing things illegally, it hurts what you're trying to do, and hurts your life when you're trying to live. But that's what Mike does, and he's got a whole compound over there. He helps the community a lot. He runs a solar. What do you got, Mike? If you're still in there, like 14,000 kilowatt solar system, and it's just yeah, he's got it going on over there. He's my go-to guy if and when I ever get to where I can do a solar type thing. I'm living in a rented house, so I'm not going to do it here, obviously. But if I ever have my own place again, I'll probably do solar, even though it's just, to me, it's so expensive to do it. But when it's your only option, or it's your only best option, and if you have the money, then you do what you have to do. And of course, you don't need that much. I'm like, yeah, brother, you haven't seen the machines that I have, the machinery that I have for woodworking and things like that. I need some power. I need some serious juice, especially if I set up that wood planer, that stationary planer. Yeah, that thing draws some serious power. All right, Scott says, hi, Mike. Okay, excuse me, I gotta get rid of that Voss. How does the Postal Service work? Well, my experience, at least living in, when I was in San Juan, Batangas, is it doesn't. It does, but you're hard pressed to get them to deliver your mail to you. You're better off if you go to the post office, if it's convenient, and you say, hey, do I have any mail? And they're looking at it like, who are you? You tell them your name. Then they look through their stack of mail that's just sitting there, and you're asking yourself as a Westerner, you're like, why don't you deliver that stuff, dude? And when I finally got something from the VA, and it was date sensitive, and I missed the date by a month. I was a little hot, and I went to him, and his excuse, the post office guy, one person, he told me, we didn't have your phone number to call you. And I'm like, okay, hold on, let me digest that for a second. You didn't have my phone, which I had given him my phone number before because I was expecting this stuff. And I'm like, okay, you lost my phone. And I said, yeah, but the address to my house is right there on the envelope. My address is right here. Why didn't you deliver it? It has a house number and everything. And you've delivered stuff in the past, once in a great while. And, he's like, he's looking at my girlfriend, and he's like, oh, he doesn't understand my predicament, or he doesn't understand. I'm like, no, I understand very well what you're saying, dude. You just didn't deliver it because you said you couldn't call me. I said, but you could have brought it to my house. Well, we don't know whether you're home or not. Oh, I'm like, just give. Well, you know what it is? They hire out to these guys to deliver the mail. It's not like the U.S. And I think his delivery driver quit or whatever and had them. And what they do, I've learned this in San Juan anyway. They take the mail home with them. The delivery guys, the mail, what we would say mailmen, but these delivery riders, they take the mail home. If they don't deliver it, they just go back home, drop the bag or whatever they're carrying at the door, I guess, and whenever they decide to go out and deliver the mail again, they do. But meanwhile, your envelopes, your mail's sitting there at their house, and you're like, what? But hey, welcome to the Philippines. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, And so the Postal Service, yeah, Mike says the Postal Service sucks here. I was trying to be nice, Mike, to our Filipino hosts. And maybe Fortune can weigh in on the, maybe Fortune can weigh in on the Postal Service here in the Philippines and enlighten us as to why. I really think it's just lack of manpower, which means lack of money. And if you're working a job and you're getting minimum wage or less, you just don't have a lot of motivation unless you just are a dedicated person and you were raised right. But, yeah, it's just if you're expecting something important through the mail, don't have them FedEx it. And even if they FedEx something from the U.S., especially if it's coming from like the East Coast, it takes 9 days. It took me 9 days. Now here in Iloilo, I have no idea. But if you're living in Luzon, where Manila is, where most stuff comes into, it still took me 9 days for delivered to my house. That's just the way it is. I was waiting on that ATM card. I'm like, come on now, come on. The money's running low, and it's just the way it is. You got to adjust. So, good morning, Elsie, my friend Elsie Marie. She lives over there in Luzon, near where I was living. I hope all is well with you this morning with what you've got going on. I assume you're out there cleaning up the pigs and whatnot, or I know you're getting ready or applying for some training. I hope all that works out for you. Thanks for joining me here. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you haven't, folks. If you're in here, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe. Share it if you want. That's all good too. Only one boat fished yesterday, 6 kilos. That sounds like a down day there, Mike, but 6 is better than 0, So Mike was out fishing, or his family was out fishing. Maybe tomorrow, push both other boats into the water. Okay, that's good. Waiting on Verbana to pass by. I haven't even been following that, Mike. I assume that's another storm, another typhoon. Yeah, thank you. Please subscribe. That would be great. I'm trying to grow this channel and see what's going on. 295 bypass. Yeah, that's it, Scott. Yep. I'm pretty. Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah. But I always loved going across on the water there. I always thought that was cool. And it must have taken a lot for them to construct that. But I just thought that was a beautiful view of Jacksonville, Florida. And that was great. Chris is laughing. Please, everyone. Which part were you laughing about, I try to see humor in just about everything. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, when you come into the chat, folks, say hello to the host and give a thumbs up. And, excuse me, I'm nursing this burn down here on my leg. Finally putting medicine on it. I was trying to just tough it out, but I gotta keep some antibiotics on it and make sure it doesn't get infected. Love to see some seawater fishing vlogs. Well, I tell you what, Daniel, I don't go deep sea fishing anymore. I wish I could. I would love to, but as I've gotten older, the seasickness gets worse and worse. Even if I take the medicine, I just can't. And I hate it because I love to go deep sea fishing, but I can't do it without tossing my cookies. I can hold on real good as long as the boat's moving. And I always tell everybody, I tell Michael this. This is why I was in the Army. Walking around with the infantry and whatnot, legs instead of being in the Navy. The good Lord was looking out for me. He knew, hey, I didn't create him to be, Navy savvy. Let's keep him on the land. But having said that, I love to go fishing. What I do to get the best of both worlds, I surf fish. You know, and you'd be surprised. You'd think, you can't catch anything doing that. But you'd be surprised. The fish that are like not that far out, and I use a really long surf rod, so I can cast that thing out there a good long ways. And so I can get out to where it's a little bit deeper. But even in the shallow water, the people that fish, you know, there's fish out there even in the shallow water. And when I was fishing there in Thailand, right off the beach, I'd catch at least one fish. Strange looking catfish in the salt water there, but I would catch one just about every time I fished. But I was using salted baits. And if anybody ever wants to know about salted baits, hit me up sometime personally. And I found that's the secret right there. You know, you want to keep your shrimp, your squid that you're using for bait, you want to keep it for a good long time. Learn how to salt your baits. That's the best thing I ever did. And it's the best thing for keeping shrimp on your hook too, for those of you that are into fishing. And I know, Daniel, that Michael has done, he did some live streams out there while they were fishing, but that's because they had the, I'm drawing a blank, the mini, the Starlink Mini out there of James and Karen, so they were able to do that. And when Mike gets his Starlink, and then he'll be doing more of that, I'm sure. Everything. What's up, Colonel? Well, usually the sky is up, but you know, I'm just having a normal morning here, drinking my foo-foo drink here. Let me take a sip, excuse me. But everything's good. I woke up again, so it's a good day. Yeah, rain's slowing things down. You're right, Mike. Manila Gorilla in the house. Hey, Colonel. Thanks for joining there, Manila Gorilla. I love that name. That's just, you know, I came up with the Colonel's Chronicles because that kind of rolled off but I realized the Filipino people have trouble with the Colonel's Chronicles. For me, it fit. But Manila Gorilla, I love it, man. That's great. That is great. Hey, Sergeant, everything. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Mike. 2 systems, 12 kilowatt and 3 kilowatt. There you go. Talking about a solar system. And Michael, that's Christia saying hey to you. Let's see. Yeah. I breathed in something. I didn't want to breathe in here. I guess dust or something floating in the air. Thanks there, Daniel. Like this vlog. I appreciate that. 11 people in here. 8 thumbs up. So we should have at least 11 thumbs up. Don't forget to double tap that screen or do what you got to do. Yeah, I love it. The iPhone people. Double tap the screen. Like, I don't know what you Android people do. Well, you know what I do on these live? I double tap the screen, brother. And I got an Android. And I would never buy an iPhone. So all you haters of Android, get over yourselves, you know. You're just a little fruity to me. I'm kidding. I don't care what you have. I really don't care. But I do get a kick out of the Apple people. They like to disrespect people who run Androids. I've been running an Android always. I do have a mini Mac. I hate it. My son talked me into getting it for a computer. I hate it. You know, it runs fine. I just don't get the system because I've been using, you know, Microsoft for so many years. That's what I kind of came up on. Although I do remember the Apple IIe that my friend had in high school, and you know, we just thought he was special, you know, because he had this Apple IIe. We didn't do nothing, basic language, you know, but we thought it was pretty cool. And saying Mike just got second battery yesterday. We'll have 28. Yeah, see what Mike's trying to do, y'all. He's trying to power the whole town. I think he's actually, you know, he's got the barangay already. Now he's going for the province over there in Masbate to power the whole province. And then he can just, you know, start sending electric bills to the people that live there, and he can make money. I think he's not going to tell us, but I think that's what he's doing. He's trying to have his own power grid there. Come on, Mike. 28,668 watts. Brother, you got it going on. And Mike's saying hi to Manila Gorilla. Hi, Scott. And I have not received my ATM card from the USA. It has been 5+ months. Well, Mike, I can only tell you what I did when that occurred. I called my bank. Now I have a very good bank, and that worldwide. I mean, their service worldwide is phenomenal. And I use USAA, And anyway, if I call them and tell them I lost my card or cancel the card, they will overnight me, FedEx me my new card. Okay, and that's why I was saying earlier, even though they FedEx it, it's still an overnight. It still took me 9 days to get it, but it's better than waiting 5 months. So sometimes that's what you got to do, and you have to tell them, hey, I'm in the Philippines. Can you FedEx it? You know, UPS or whatever, but usually FedEx I think is a better way to go over here, and then see what happens. You live. I mean, you got to remember, dude. You live over there. You're in. You're in. BFE. You're on Masbate. Most people, they're hard pressed to even go to Masbate. I'm joking, but I'm just saying. Mike lives out there in the wilderness on the beach. So if you ever watch, from what I can tell, I haven't visited Mike yet, but when I think of Mike, I think of the movie Castaway, with that, well, whatever you think of Tom Hanks, but anyway, it was still a good movie. But whenever I talk to Mike, I always think he's living the life of Castaway. Over there in Masbate. I'm joking, of course, but yeah, he's Masbate is a little rustic. If you're a city person, you're not going to like Masbate, from what I can tell. It took over a year to get Social Security letters from Manila to Masbate. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous, Mike? Isn't that so ridiculous? It's just, yeah, it's bad. Mike says, hello, Fox. Yeah, Pinto, we're all poor compared to somebody, but we're in the Philippines. Where are you at? You can tell us a little bit more about yourself, and maybe you want to tell us why you're poor, and we'll tell you why we're poor. Yeah, Gino says, Mike's saying hi to you, Pinto, just subscribe to you. Postal service is almost non-existent in Aklan province. I believe that, Gino. But, I lived in Luzon, and I would say the postal service was just about non-existent. That old guy in that post office, he hated to see me coming in there because he's like, oh, man, what's he going to yell at me about now? I never really yelled at him. I just pointed out the logical reasons for why his arguments didn't make sense of why we weren't getting our mail. And it was amazing. And one time when I went in there and I was just like, come on, dude. Well, then they showed up to my house for like 2 or 3 days in a row with envelopes for me. And I'm like, check that out. But then I never saw them again after that. That's funny. But I pretty much was done receiving stuff from the VA by then. Okay, Mike says, FedEx showed up with my appointment letters for the CMP after I'd already attended the appointments. Yeah, you gotta love that, Mike. You gotta love that. I hope they emailed you. That's what the VA did with me. They emailed me and they hard copied me. And I always got the hard copy. Well, on some of them I actually received them before, but they were coming from Manila. And I'd gone to the post office guy and say, hey, look, I'm expecting, this stuff. And so I got those. But then it just kind of petered off, and he forgot about me after a while, because you gotta keep going and greasing that wheel, and go in there and be all nice. Hey sir, how you doing? I know you're busy, and even though he's just sitting at the desk not doing anything, but I know you're busy and it's overwhelming sometimes, but you think, I got some mail coming in, you think you can get it to me when it gets here, or give me a call, here's my phone number, I really appreciate it. I hate sucking up like that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Everything says, is that raining? Yes, it is. It's actually, I'm missing a downspout off the rain, the gutters here at this house I'm renting. And there's an old trash can that was out there was here when I arrived. And I stuck it under there to catch some of the water because there's a little bit of conservation. I used the water then to throw on the concrete to wash it off and whatnot, but yes, it's tapping into that plastic container out there. That's probably what you're hearing. Let's see. Mike's saying hello to you, Gino, if you're still here. And enjoy the Christmas tree lighting. I don't know. I don't do Xmas. I do Christmas. Let's see. I did not go. That was my boat in the other village. I missed something there, Mike. Oh, I guess you couldn't take the other boat to that. Ah, well, whatever. I spent the day in the city spending money. Well, you're blessed, Mike. I'm sorry, I went past somebody's. Jacksonville is the Riviera, or is that Riviera of the South? Okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Jacksonville is nice, but there's other parts of Florida that are just as beautiful as Jacksonville. And I would put Naples. Now, I love Naples. It's just it's a higher cost of living area, and you're hard pressed to find homes there. But I loved going to Naples. I enjoyed that the times that I went down there. David Jessup is in the house. Says hi, Colonel. Hi, Michael. Did you leave yet, David? Or are you getting ready to leave? Whoop. I'm sorry, folks. I keep tapping the wrong thing here. I'm trying to scroll up a little bit. Michael says, hello, David Jessup. I will be live at 9 a.m. to give update to what is going on, Doug. Come in live with me. I can do that if I can, Mike, but I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I don't even know what time. What time is it now, Mike? I can't see my clock. All right. David says, it's a very crazy day here, Michael. I sent you an email, okay? With pictures. Kind of picture? Nah, never mind. My mind went somewhere stupid. Daniel said, Jacksonville is called the River City due to all the rivers that run through it. Yeah, there's a lot of water down there. But I live, for those of you that know Florida, or even if you don't, I lived in Lake County. And if you I lived in a little town right beside Mount Dora. And if you look on the map and there's just water, you're like, where do they live? Because there's water everywhere. There's lakes all over the place. And shoot, I used to walk down the hill from where I lived, down the street through town, and get to the big lake there. Oh, there'd be gators hanging out on the edge of the lake. It used to crack me up. I'm walking up the ramp and I'm looking over and like, yo, man, hey, you just stay right there, okay? I'm gonna walk by you. I'm no threat. You just stay right there, buddy. And I walk up on the ramp because they had a walkway that walked out into the out in the lake a little bit and then along the edge. And you could go fishing off of that little. You could call it a pier, but it was set up there specific for people to sit out on the water and just enjoy the lake or the fishing. But it used to crack me up because I'd be standing there looking at it, and you'd see the gators swimming around on the lake and coming over, because they used to come over to the edge, to that bank there, and they would sun themselves along there. I never heard of anybody in my town getting snagged by a gator, but down going towards Leesburg, yeah, next town. Was one lady, she was doing the dumb thing. He got signs everywhere, don't feed the gators. But evidently she was feeding the gators burgers or whatever. And that gator snatched her arm and tore her arm off. That's just the way, you don't mess around with the gators. They're wild animals, critters, prehistoric critters, I wouldn't say they're prehistoric, but they've been around since the creation. All right, we'll go see now, David. Okay, Mike's going to go check David. He's going to check his messages, email. Scuba Steve, I'm glad you woke up for another day, Steve, and joined us. Thank you for the support. Like and subscribe. I'm still missing a few thumbs up there. Go ahead and tap the screen a couple times, folks. I appreciate it. It helps the algorithm and helps those of us here in the Philippines get the word out about how great it is and what a good life you can have over here and a relaxing life you can have in the Philippines, if you choose to be. Not everybody in the Philippines is living a relaxing life, but you can very easily. Mike must have looked at it, David. He said, wow, David, crazy. Okay, crazy USA. Scuba Steve, thanks for the good morning there, Steve. Yeah, you could be Panay Gorilla. That doesn't have the same ring as Manila Gorilla, though, Mike. Maybe could be Panay Guy or something like that, you know. Panay Guy Michael. Because you know everybody, we were joking about this. I think it was on Gino's stream the other day. Everybody does YouTube in the Philippines is named Michael. It seems like. So we all changed our names, you know, because I'm Colonel Michael or Michael Colonel. And yeah, it's just Gina. And we were like Michael Dazzle, you know, for Dazzle TV. And yeah, yeah, Michael Steven. Scuba Steve's now Michael Steven. I thought we got a kick out of that. It was funny. Yeah, Steve saying, hey, brothers, to everybody. Now, Steve's another one that he lives on the island of Marinduque. And he's living the good life over there with his wife, Lenny. And you know, yeah, he's got quite a beautiful house. But he's living on an island too where there's not a lot there. Marinduque, there's not a lot there. But Steve's living the life. He's living large over there. So anyone can do it if you choose to do it and you make the right choices to get that, to attain that. And Mike says, I hate Apple phones. I'm with you, Michael. Scott says, hey, Scuba. Scuba Steve. Morning, David J. Morning, Scuba from Michael. And David Jessup's back at you there, Steve. Hello, hi. Yeah, hey, Scott. Morning, Scott and Isa. Yep, Michael and David. Manila Gorilla says, ever consider a mail forwarding service? I considered it, and it's called my brother. but no, there's people that do that, and it works well for them. So if that's something you might want to consider when you're living in a foreign country or going to a foreign country. I didn't go that route, pretty much because at the time I really wasn't aware of it so much, and I just wanted to trust my family more. But from what I understand, people that use these mail forwarding services, they work great. And you know, you got to set it up what works best for you, and it's a good way to go. You know, it's a good thing to consider. Hi, Scott and Isa from David Jessup. Mike says, only for my properties, power cannot be sold here. I need the power. Oh, he's answering what I said earlier. I need the power for AC. This summer will be hot. Yeah, this summer will be hot. I hear you, Mike, but I still say, man, you're trying to create your own power grid over there, and you're going to be powering the whole brand. And once they find out what you got, you think they're knocking on your door now to charge their cell phones and do other. Dude, they're going to be trying to run the wires from their whole house into your power grid. Mark my words. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying that people don't want to take your power already. That's just human nature. Hi, Manila from David. Daniel says, thinking about getting an Apple 16e before heading to the Philippines. Is that a really big Apple, Daniel? Or are you talking about cell phone? I thought you were talking about a piece of fruit. I'm messing with you, brother. Just messing with you. I run a Samsung, as they say in Thailand, Samsung. You might say Samsung. I say Samsung now just because I got used to it in Thailand. Samsung. And I was blessed. I told myself I'd never again would I spend $1,000, a lot of money on a cell phone. But for my birthday this past year, my birthday present to myself, I upgraded because I was running an A73, Samsung A73. And something happened I got the dreaded lines down through the screen. And instead of getting it repaired, I just said, you know what, I'm going to get a new phone. And so I forked out the bread for that Samsung S25 Ultra, and I love it. It's a great phone. Camera's great. The AI is the AI, and this phone does stuff I don't even know what it does. There's some things I probably wish it didn't do that it's doing, like monitoring what I'm doing, listening to me. I know Lazada. For those of you that have the Lazada app and whatnot, that company is very invasive, and they're listening to me right now. They listen to, I'm telling you, they listen to your conversations, because you can be talking about a product with someone, you know, you don't have your phone on, but you can be talking about a product with somebody that you're looking for in the Philippines or whatever, and the next time you go into Lazada, it's amazing. It will come up on their pop-up, a product that you're looking for, or it may come up on Facebook or somewhere on the advertisements for Lazada, and you're like, well, isn't that a coinky dink? It's not a coincidence, man. They're monitoring your phone. It's crazy. And but hey, we read all about this from George Orwell in 1984. Big Brother's always watching. Big Brother Lazada is watching all the time. Shopee might do the same thing. I don't know. But I know Lazada does. I mean, I know from my experience. They can say they don't, but I think they're lying. All right. Mike says, okay, when I moved here, I bought 5 Apple iPhones, iPhone 4S, dummy. Sold them all in a couple of weeks, doubled my money. I'm not even going to comment on that black market action you got there, Mike. But if you want to put it out there for everybody, that's up to you. Scuba Steve, good morning. Gino, good morning. Dazzle. Mike says, need to iron out the wrinkles in your picture. Looks nice. I'm not ironing that out because when you go to the beach, ain't nothing perfect. The waves are moving, and I don't care. I don't care, man. If I was worried about that wrinkle, I'll go over to these wrinkles. It's a pretty big thing. And look at that. See? And if I was really worried about the wrinkles, Mike, I'll just go to the real beach. I'll take a trip over to Boracay and we'll live stream from there. But it's all good. There's always a critic in the house, Hey, that's the thing about YouTube. You could do, and I haven't shaved either. You could have the perfect live stream, but somebody in the chat's gonna say something negative. You got to have thick skin, or you'd be like me. You just comment back. You slap back at them, and and then you get in this, and then you just just let it go, man. Whatever. I like messing with Mike though. Manila Gorilla says, I just got an appointment notice for October from the VA. Wonder how much they spend on postage. Should have an opt-out option. Well, yeah, it's like I was telling Mike when we were talking about the VA stuff, Manila, that just do it through email is good enough. They do the hard copies because, invariably, or eventually there's somebody out there that complains. I didn't get my notification. That's why I missed my appointment. And then they got to start the process all over, reapply. And so I think the VA, they try to cover all the bases, and that's why they still send the hard copy, even though I was getting stuff through email also. And but I found, this is my experience, other people may have negative experiences. I had nothing but positive experience from the regional office in Manila for the US VA. I mean, they were fantastic. They even helped me. They interviewed me. They helped me apply. They gave me the links, everything where to send stuff. Because I can't get onto the VA service where I can track. I still haven't been able to with the ID Me and all that. Now, I have login.gov because of my retirement. But what a pain in the butt. It's all a pain. Putting in a code every time you go in. I'm like, give me a break. But I guess if that's what they got to do to secure it, that's what they got to do. And but anyway. I went in, I tried to do ID Me, and I got pretty far in the process before I got locked out. I couldn't go any further. It was crazy. There was something I couldn't do. Okay, the CMP exams from Mike. Notifications were not only late, but the FedEx delivery driver would not leave the envelope unless I paid him 500 pesos. Well, that's on you, Mike. I didn't have that. I didn't have that issue. I didn't have to pay my rider. He just dropped it off, said good morning. I said good morning. He dropped it off, and I didn't have to give him, 1 centavo. So it just, yeah, I think that's mesbate for you. You got to deal with that in your own way. I got the emails, responded, attended the appointment, spent a week in Marinduque. The letters came one day before getting home. Yeah, that's about normal. I figured about right, David Justice says, I'm going to look out the windows at what is going on. Can't wait to get out of here. Hey, you know, come on. What do you, let's go. You know, let's go. I hear you. Can't wait to get out of there. I couldn't wait. When I retired, I couldn't wait to get over to Thailand. And then when I made the decision to move to the Philippines from Thailand, I couldn't wait to leave Thailand. I couldn't get everything done fast enough. And I wish I had slow rolled my move from Thailand, but there was a woman involved, and yeah, changed my plans a little bit. Okay, Scott says that's why in Florida I always carry. Well, I've decided over here, especially in Thailand, it's a good thing I wasn't carrying. And I have my own reasons for that. I like my freedom, and I'm just gonna leave that alone. We can talk personal about that kind of stuff. Uh, Mike says cops have David's block locked down while they are searching for a suspect. He sent pics of the cops outside his house. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hey, get out there and help them out, man. You got skills. Yeah, they won't let you. Nikki Evans. Hello, Colonel. Good morning, Nikki. Thanks for joining again. Good to see you in the house. Mike saying hi to Nikki. And Gino, good morning. Scuba Steve from Dazzle TV. Gino. I'm assuming Gino. Could be Dazzle. If it's Dazzle, good morning, Dazzle. I didn't see you earlier. I saw Gino. They have the whole block shut down. Yeah, that's a nightmare when they do that kind of stuff. Hey, Dave, that's when you have your underground tunnels, pre-built, so you can get out of Dodge when you gotta get out of Dodge. That you can get away from your house, get past that police checkpoint. Just saying, brother. Just saying. Always have a contingency plan, and I know you know that. Keep your head down, Manila. Keep your head down, David. There you go, Manila. Well, yeah, I better start practicing that low crawl again. It's been closed since 8 a.m. and it's 4:37 now. Well, evidently they either got them holed up or hurt. They either got them holed up somewhere, David, or they're not being very successful in getting who they got. I don't know the situation is man. If they're hanging around that long, that sounds like a prison break almost. But because we have an escape, we're going to set up checkpoints all over the place, and they're going to be there until we call it off. Either we find a guy or we don't find a guy. And I'll never forget the one guy that escaped from federal pen. There's videos on YouTube about it. He went up and talked to a deputy sheriff. The deputy sheriff was talking to the escapee, and that poor guy. Now, we were watching the video, and that guy, if that sheriff, he was alone, if he had tried to take that guy, he probably would have got killed. So a lot of people were really messing with him and judging him that he didn't arrest the guy. That inmate was ready, and he was exhibiting all the signs of behavior. He was ready for a fight, and he was gonna, he would have taken the guy's gun and killed him. I had no doubt that's what would have happened. And nothing against that the police officer wasn't skilled, but you're dealing with a convict who's desperate, and you'd be surprised the adrenaline and everything that goes on there. But yeah, they had the guy, but he let him go. They caught him later. But anyway, nobody will ever tap my power. Okay, Mike, you keep thinking that. I'll figure out a way, brother. You got to sleep sometime. That's funny. But then you'll see the spike. You'll see this. Man, I'm losing power somewhere. What? That's great. I love it. I don't let them tap my Wi-Fi either. Well, they're not tapping it. They're paying you. I thought they were paying you for Wi-Fi usage. That's what I would be doing, charging them for it. You want to use it? That's why I said you're going to set up your own electric company, your own power grid, start charging people. Okay, Mike, see you later. He's got to go. Workers need plumbing parts. See, Mike also, him and Charm, they run a sari store and a hardware store. They got a little bit of everything there. And that's just it's not only a service to to the local workers of the community, but it also gives them a little bit of a livelihood, you know, a little bit of extra income. Yeah, David saying, see you later, Michael. Okay, Daniel, let me see if I can read this. The 16E 6.1 inch screen runs around $599 for 125 gigabytes, and you can get 10% off military discount at apple.com. Okay, well, my phone is running 556 or 500 and some gigabytes. So, yeah, I don't see the point of getting an Apple. And I didn't even get the one. Now, Mike was telling me one of the new Apples will have 2 terabytes. I don't know. This one, I could have got this phone with 1 terabyte, but I didn't want to spend the extra money for it. And I got the 500 one, which is double the 250, whatever it is, 500 and some one for the 256 price. And so it was a no-brainer to me. That's all the memory I need. Let's see. David Jessup, Hogan's Hero style, Colonel. That's right, brother. Get to digging, man. And you don't even have to walk outside with the dirt in your pockets and let it fall down. You can just throw the buckets out the door. And while you're doing that, build a bunker around your house from the soil that you're digging the tunnel with. Just food for thought. You know, you got to have firing points built into that little wall. You know, just a berm. You know, and have firing point. Get ready, man. Ready for the zombie apocalypse, which anybody knows me knows I don't feed into. I don't believe any of that stuff. But it's funny to talk about and joke about it. Let's all go to Mike's and charge our phones, Manila Gorilla. Hey, you joking, but yeah, why not? I think the whole neighborhood does. I think at one point they were sitting outside he had to change his Wi-Fi password and stuff. They were sitting outside his house. They were all lined up there with their cell phones and maybe a couple had small laptop or tablets. They're all sitting out there feeding off his Wi-Fi. And I'm like, dang, Mike, you know. But they pay for it. They pay for it. And Christy says, are you on Instagram? Yeah, I'm on Instagram. Don't ask me what my Instagram name is. I don't remember. I don't remember. Act the Colonel or something like that. ACK Colonel. Or ACK the Colonel. I think. I have to go check that. I'll have to check that out. I think I can send you a message on your YouTube channel here if you want to know. And yeah, honestly I don't do anything on Instagram except when I get a notification, and if somebody I know might go check it out, and I might message them. But that's about all I do on Instagram. Yeah, I don't, because I have some acquaintances from Thailand that are on Instagram, and if I want to keep up with their families and stuff, that's, you know, I'll go over there and look at their photos and whatnot. Ray woke up. Good morning. You have a hangover, Ray, or you feeling good this morning? I didn't see if you went live or not. I saw you last night. I didn't know this morning. But good morning to you. It's another blessed day because you woke up. Hello, John. Good morning to you. Christy, yeah, maybe send me a message. Okay, Christy, I'll try to do that. Is the name? How are we going to do? We'll figure it out. And yeah, because I think I subscribed already, I believe. If not, I will. David Jessup says, too much work. I'm out of here. The 19th, nothing will stop me. Good for you, David. I hope you make it. Christy. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on, folks. I got to write this down. My new friend here. Yes. Well, how are we going to do this? Oh, let me grab a book. You know, I'm going to start reading again because I used to read all the time. And I think I'm going to do some videos on, or book reviews maybe, or talk about some of the books that I read and what I think. And let me write this down. Bear with me. Let's see if I can get my bifocals working. Yeah, I'm always willing to make a new friend. There's nothing wrong with that. And, oh, I got to scroll down again. Oh my goodness. Oh, come on there. Okay, I got you. We'll figure it out. And we can chat about other things that maybe we can't chat about on here. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't mess with politics on here too much. I don't mind talking about spiritual things. All right, good morning, Ray. Okay, Instagram. Okay, no problem. I'll figure it out. Hi, Ray. What's good with you? I rarely have a hang. Rarely have a hangover. Feel good, look good. Another awesome day to be me. You know, Ray. You gotta love Ray, man. He's got so much confidence in himself. He'll never have a bad day. You know, and it's all good. Yeah, if that's what helps you make it through life, be that way. You know, me, I just keep it real. If I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, man. It's just the way it is. But God love you, Ray. You know, you do you, brother. And as I'm glad you feel good and you rarely have a hangover. That's great. What gives you a hangover, Ray? I mean, I don't drink hardly ever, but I have alcohol in the house. But I tell you that I used to like the tequila, but I can't. Tequila gives me a banging headache, so I don't drink it. Or if I ever did, I'd have to drink, a whole lot of water afterwards for me to not have a headache in the morning because it just dehydrates me so much. David says, good morning, David and Gino. Have a good night, Colonel from Christie. Oh, thank you, Christy. I'll send you. I'll shoot you a message so you have my Instagram, whatever. And yeah, it's good to meet you. And thanks for coming over here. I appreciate the support. It's all good. Anybody that likes Italians, that's going to be a friend of mine because I'm not Italian, but I like Italians too. Most Italians. Now there were some Italians in the prison, that we didn't always see eye to eye, and it's just the way it is. Those guys in Philadelphia, those good fellows there, they're something else. I usually got along with them, because it makes life easier in prison. But there's some unsavory characters out there that are Italian, but there's some other really good people. And it's just like any country, any nationality. You got some bad apples. No offense to our iPhone users. Bad apples, that's great. But there's some really good people. Even here in the Philippines, not everybody is a stand-up citizen. There's some bad people over here too. But by and large, man, the people over here are so friendly. You gotta love it, And there's people that I lived in Thailand. There's people in Thailand tell you I was reading something the other day, guys. I'm like, yeah, he's been married for 20, 60 years, whatever, to his Thai wife, and she's just so sweet and everything, and he's loving. I'm saying that's great. I think there's Thai women over that are like that. That wasn't my experience. That's not who I chose, but I know there are. So I'm not going to ever say about any, God, the people over there are bad. No, it's just not true. There's bad people, but not everybody. Okay. But yeah, have a good night, Christy. Get some sleep, get some rest. Ray, normally, if it's a lot of cheap liquor and I don't stay hydrated, yeah, absolutely, you got to stay hydrated. I'll get a hangover. And that's the trick. I don't drink anymore or very much at all. Yeah, staying hydrated. Because, for those of you that don't know, alcohol dehydrates you. I thought everybody knew that, but it does. For those of you that don't know. Or I get heartburn if I drink too much whiskey. Yeah, the whiskey doesn't bother me, Ray. I just choose not to intake too much of it. But I'm not going to lie. I like whiskey. I do. But I just don't drink. I don't sit around and drink. It's just not my thing. And for those of you that like to sit around and drink and have a good time, you got to be on Ray's channel. Because Ray is always having a good time over there. He's always drinking something. Always drinking something. It might not be alcohol, but he's always drinking something. Because I found out during his life, you got to have some kind of drink nearby. Because you got to wet the whistle sometimes. Like I'm going to do right now. Excuse me. Oh, boy. All right, wow, time got away from me. It's already over an hour. And I didn't plan on going that long. But I thank you all for joining me. And I hope you have a blessed day. Oh, wait, Ray, wait, Mike's talking here. Maybe next time you will be free 9 a.m. Well, Mike, I might still get to it. I might not stay the whole time, but I'll definitely pop over there and show you the support. Um, but I'm going to take off now. Oh, here we go. I thought I was going to take off, but we gotta talk here. Ray said, I like whiskey as well. Drinking live streams are going to decrease. Lynn will be here today. Ray, there's so much I want to say. Wow, I'm a poet. That rhymes. Ray, I'm going to say it again. Ray, there's so much I want to say about what you got going on today, but I'm just going to refrain from it. You enjoy your time with Lynn. I hope she enjoys her time. You know, holy smoke. I'm kind of like, this is making me look thinner than I am. Yeah, look at, wow. Either that or my fasting kicked in earlier today. Check that out. Maybe it's the scruffiness coming in because I didn't shave. Okay, I will invite you now. Oh, you're going to invite me. Oh, you want me to go over there, Mike? Okay, I can do that for a little while, brother. Then I got to start doing something. But listen, folks, thank you for the support. If you didn't tap the like, Ray, you're such a schmoozer, Ray. You know, because you know I'm never going to say you're looking good, even though you do. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. And even though Mike busted me about the wrinkles in my beach scene here, it's not real, folks. I wish it was, and maybe someday it will be. But anyway, I love having y'all here. God bless you. And John, you, those that join me, Gino, Ray, Mike, Scott, and Isa, you know, who I'm missing a whole lot of, Scuba Steve. You know, everybody that joined us, Christia, you know, it's just David Jessup, who will be in the Philippines soon. And John, I already said you, John. Manila Gorilla. I thank all of y'all for commenting, for joining here. And the Colonel's out.